Alright, today we are back with more Aetherdrift. We've got a mono red discard deck, I guess, is what we're going to call it. It's sort of just a mid-range deck, but it's built around casting Marauding Mako and making it very large with our creatures that can discard, as well as Brass Tunnel. You can just discard your hand, give it a bunch of counters, and make it very big. Got some Moment to Endurance is another payoff for discard effects. And then I wanted to try Count on Luck in like a mid-range deck. It's sort of like a Phyrexian Arena for red, but you get to exile a card every upkeep, and then you could play it that turn. So you get to draw 2 cards a turn. So the plan is cast removal spells, excuse me, do beatdowns, and then draw cards. We've got Chandra, which we're trying in a different shell. I'm not sure if a video with this one up yet, but I've tried some stuff with it, and we've got Koth as well. So Koth can get a bunch of mountains in your hand, and then you can just discard them with the Brass Tunnel, get all of your triggers. It's not at a super high cost. So yeah, that is it for the deck. I'm gonna stop talking so I don't keep coughing. There will be a list in the description, and I will see you guys in the games. Alright, opponent goes first. We'll keep this hand. The thing that's kind of interesting about this card is if you don't have like a discard heavy draw, you can just cycle it away. Well, that's unfortunate. Our deck is going to be really bad against the card Shieldred. Also, they could just take my Obliterating Bolt and maybe do slasher stuff, so we will see. I wouldn't be surprised if they just took the Count on Luck and are just going to try to beat my hand. If they take the Count on Luck, I think I'm just going to jam the Mako and hope that we top deck well. Yeah, a lot of information to be gained from based off of what your opponent takes with duress. But I'm not that interested in doing in-depth analysis at the moment. I'm just gonna play my cards. Okay, so Deep Cavern Bat. I guess yeah, they're gonna take the Fear. That'll mess up my curve. Now I have the decision of Torch or Bolt. The problem is I can't answer a Preacher or a Slasher or even the Flying Demon. So I think I have to be mana efficient and hope it works out. That sucks. This is just a play draw diff. Because we're just going to get 2 for 1 here, I think. Maybe not. Maybe we get 2 for 1 if this gets answered, which it probably will. But and I have a sort of interesting decision between like, do I want to keep the land in case I draw a 4-drop? I think I'm just always discarding the land to Chandra. But yeah, opponent's hand pretty good against what we had. We'll see if we can win. It's going to involve top decking very well, and I'm sure their card quality is higher. Like black is, I think, a pretty poorly balanced color in the scheme of Standard, but I think there's an argument to be made that that's kind of a good thing. The gameplay with black decks can definitely be a little more enjoyable than things like red and green, depending on what's good. All right, well that worked out pretty well. If we don't get duressed, we're in a very good spot. I top decked well. They didn't have the answer. So yeah. Love to see that. I think there's plenty of ways where that doesn't go perfect, but even if they do have Liliana, we could probably just play the Count on Luck and try to beat it. That's unfortunate. That gives us very little time, and we're definitely not going to race it. Like, we can't answer a 6/6. Yes, we could draw 2 cards a turn or whatever, but so this is interesting. I could just business them instead of getting 2 cards a turn. This is going to be 7 damage. I think I will do that and just hope they didn't find a removal spell. And then if they can survive, I guess they're just going to make a demon. What am I talking about? Huh. Yeah, this didn't really make sense. Oops. They could have not had the land, but I should probably count on them having the land. Yeah, this card is extremely powerful. Yeah, not much to say. Sure. Okay, well, maybe I can win now? I don't know why my opponent did that. I was just gonna die if they, Still probably gonna die, actually, but, yeah. We'll try. Okay. Trying to figure out how the hell I win. I just can't beat this 6/6. Like, they gave me a turn, I guess, but... I can't Koth it. Like, I'm just playing a red deck. I can't answer a 6/6. I don't know why this demon gets to be so big. But it does. The answer is just play mice and kill your opponent on turn 3. Yes, I know. I know how standard works. Fuck. Yeah, just don't have a card in my deck. There's not really a reason to main phase this. Maybe I could have won if I just played this sooner. I don't know. I doubt it. Very smart play, opponent. I had like an Obliterating Bolt instead of having a 2-for-1 myself. I guess I didn't really 2-for-1 myself, but... Sure. So yeah, I'm just dead. Alright, good game. Sorry for coughing. Sneaks out. Alright, you go first, sure. Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with 6/6s. I guess you just don't, is the short answer. You just lose. Yeah. Pretty good card, that Unholy... whatever. I remember when people compared Wedding Announcement to Fabled Mirror Breaker, which I thought was an absolute joke. But I think the Unholy Annex comparison is closer. I think at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter because Fable produces a 2/2 when it comes into play, so you can't just disenchant it. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this and just jam the count on luck and hope that it's good enough. It's weird to, like, get rid of your discard outlet, but I have a lot of cards that say discard in my deck. It's sort of built around it. It doesn't look like they're going to pressure us too quickly, so maybe we'll have time to actually get this stuff going. Sure. It's kind of interesting. I do want to blow this up, I think. The question is, do I want to keep my monuments? And I think the answer is yes. It's kind of unfortunate, but like I have a lot of card advantage either way. Look at the scry. It's kind of terrifying. Well, now we're under a lot of pressure. Yeah, my deck just can't deal with stuff like this. It's too hard to kill big creatures. Fourth one is just not it. I need help. Please, deck. Any help at all? No. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I mean, this one is definitely a brew. I wouldn't be surprised if it falls on his face, but let's see. What does my opponent have in their hand? Or they just have counter spells? I just drew 0 cards that say discard. That's really unfortunate. Okay. I'm done on board, right? I don't think there's anything I can do. Like, I intentionally have 2 of these in my deck because I don't want to draw a bunch of them and have this happen, but we got so insanely unlucky. That sucks. I mean, I guess whatever. It's not like this interacts with their just like turn 5 Bonnie. Now, how do I live? I don't think I can. I think it's just impossible. I can't trigger these. Can't do anything. I guess Chandra will draw a card. Oh, this does discard, right? Okay, I forgot this. I played with this card, and all I was doing was sacrificing artifacts. I think I just kind of forgot. I was playing a vehicle deck, and you just had so many extra. Yeah. Or discard. Okay. Alright. Well, I guess I could have played this, perhaps, but... I think we're dead. I think we're still just going to die, so it's not that big of a deal, but... Yeah, I just can't answer their board. It's not a real thing. Okay. Awkward. GG. Alright. Opponent goes first. I do have cards that say discard in my deck, I promise. They're right here. I think we keep this. If our opponent's just playing like another weird deck where like cheap removal isn't good against them, it's awkward. But all the best decks in standard, I think, are like Torch should be live against them. We've just been playing against weird stuff. Yeah, it might just be Boros control. I guess this would be good against that. That's just Convoke. Okay. Do I want to trade? Oh, this isn't the pump one. I thought it was the pump one. Okay, I will attack. Okay, well, this is good for me. I mean, they're getting guard advantage, but not under too much pressure. I could even torch the Warden if it comes down. I don't know why they didn't play the Plains. Okay, whatever. uh, sure. Alright, I think I'm gonna record one more with this deck. Normally I try to do 5, but I don't think this style of deck really makes sense. You know, if you just like to play like silly big red decks, you could play it. But it just seems very apparent that like this deck doesn't have good enough removal. I could play like the deal 5 maybe, but sorcery speed removal is bad, and like torch. I don't know. I like torch should be decent, but things have been awkward. I'm just gonna business my opponent and just go all in. I could have torched this, but my plan is just to monument, discard treasure, and try to kill them as quickly as possible. I guess I don't even need to treasure. I could maybe just do the deal 3. Probably should have attacked, but whatever. Huh. This is very aggressive. I'm throwing all my cards away, but they are playing mono red, and I do have the board, so. So my opponent was maybe supposed to do this before the treasure resolved. It's kind of like a weird heads-up play, but. It's cool for the last game that we had this draw. Like, this is one of the things that like, I think part of the appeal is, like, if you have Mako into, like, a bunch of ways to discard, it's pretty big. It's not even close to comparable to the power level of Hardfire Hero. It's like a joke in comparison, but it is something that you can do that's relatively powerful, so that's cool. Alright, we drew a Koth. That thing's going in the blender, as all cards are. Let's just... There's a deal 3. What do I gotta do? Alright, you're at 3. Can you kill me? So they have to kill Inti. They have to kill me. They're not winning any other way. Whatever I top deck just gets discarded and they die. Alright, well, cool final game. Like I said, I don't know. None of the decks I think that I've made a YouTube video on, except for maybe like the blue-black deck, are like particularly competitive. Or just experimenting. I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic, but also realistic at the same time, which can be difficult. But yeah, the standard it's tough. I mean, obviously we won the one game at the end where we just kind of had the nuts on the play and steamrolled our opponent, but I think I sort of know what I want to be doing and not doing. I just play best of one when I've been playing best of one when the set is new, just because it's, I don't know, it's faster basically, and I can just try a bunch of different stuff. But I should probably just switch over to best of 3. We'll see. I don't know. It's just easier for YouTube. I think best of 1 is kind of a crap way to play Magic, but it is much easier for YouTube and editing and all that stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed the deck. I think the Mako is good. I've played the Mako in a few different decks. I think it's solid. I think it is a very playable card. It's just, I don't know if like the other cards that you have to include in your deck to make it good warrant playing it. Count on Luck was just, it was not great, but you could perhaps make a deck where it would be better. It is nice to just have like a Phyrexian Arena. Have access to something similar to a Phyrexian Arena, but you could also just play black removal spells and Unholy Annex, so it doesn't really make that much sense to me to have this card unless you are worried about, I don't know, I guess other black decks. But like we saw the game where my opponent just Unholy Annexed and Lightning Helix to us every turn. Whereas this card gives us an extra card. That's cool. It doesn't make a demon that drains for 2 every turn. So yeah, cool deck. I love Koth. Happy to play Koth again. We didn't draw it in any of our games, but I do think it makes sense with the shell and some of the stuff we're trying. So maybe this will inspire ideas for other people, and they can get a list like this to a place that is better off. You could perhaps you could just be like a red-black deck and just have better removal and maybe some other discard options. But either way, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.